Sure. So my name's Lance Hayden. I've been associated with the iSchool for a long time, and I got both my master's degree and my PhD here. My background is I was a military brat growing up, and then went and actually after undergraduate joined the CIA for a few years. So I spent about 6 years with the Central Intelligence Agency and left the CIA to come to the iSchool and get a master's degree. Wanted to learn more about technology and technology security and information security, and been off to the races ever since. So, when I first was, I've been interested in, information, books, libraries since I was a little bitty kid. So, libraries have always been a big part of my life. And when I was leaving the government and I was looking for somewhere, where I was going to go next, I was looking at different master's programs. I looked at business, I looked at computer science. Again, I was really interested in looking at sort of security and putting a technical kind of angle on the espionage experience I had and the information security experience I had there that frankly wasn't very technological. And so, started looking around and found the iSchool at UT. And so here was like information, which as an intelligence officer I had kind of gotten an appreciation for, combined with librarians and combined with books. And it was awesome. And so the program was really cool and ended up coming here, getting the master's degree, and then just have stayed ever since. You guys can't get rid of me. Sure. So obviously security, privacy, surveillance, the intelligence community, those are all areas that I've focused on very heavily. They all have strong information components. So I think they're right inside the sweet spot of what the iSchool does, although the iSchool's got a lot of sweet spots. There's a lot of areas that we focus on. But as my PhD was actually on a combination of how we use metaphors to talk about surveillance technologies in society, specifically red light cameras that were being installed in Texas at the time. I did my dissertation on that. But what I teach on and what I research on kind of mirrors what I do in my day job. I'm in the information security profession. As a business person, I'm trying to protect networks and protect information. And then as a researcher, I'm trying to look at that from sort of an academic and more of a theoretical perspective, trying to figure out how the best ways to do this are, what are some new techniques that we can use to make information more safe and secure, which with all that's going on in the news these days is sort of a never-ending challenge. And then I really enjoy teaching. So a big part of my staying around with the iSchool is wanting to get in front of new groups of fresh faces every semester and try and teach something at the same time that I really try and learn something from them, because that's why it's really fun. So I've taught several classes. Usually they are involved, again, somewhere around those themes. So I teach a class on information security and talk about sort of what that is, what the challenges are, how organizations and people can protect themselves better. But I also teach a class. I've taught classes on privacy and surveillance, which is a little bit different, but still very much in that same vein, more on surveillance theory and the social implications of watching each other and what that means. And then I teach a class that's specifically focused on the intelligence community and espionage. So we go in and we look at, how the intelligence community inside the United States particularly works, what the different organizations are, how big it is, its budget, all the things that it does, and then look at some of the techniques and some of the things that happen and end up trying to take that practical and really help students understand coming out of that how, again, all the stuff that we're seeing in the news, what that actually means and what it means for them specifically, both as individuals, as citizens, and as information professionals, because it's an information-rich field. So yeah, my favorite part of the iSchool has really been this sort of, when you're talking about a school or a program or an academic discipline that deals with information, that's another way of saying it deals with everything. Everything has information in it. And it has for a long time, but in a sort of technological and information-centric society, a social society, an online digital society, it's even more important. So the main thing I would tell anybody looking at this program is don't get pigeonholed. You can do anything. If it has to do with information, we have something to do with it, and we have things that you can do to explore it and things you can do to learn about it. And so I would say be creative. This is one of the best schools on campus for really letting people get creative and open and innovative with their own academic experience. There's not a lot of dogma. There are if you get into certain specialties. You know, if you want to be a classification expert or a children's librarian, there's going to be some specialized kind of programs that you're going to want to do to learn how to do that. But for the most part, you can mix and match and munge and mash up and put everything together, can create your own academic experience, because everything at the end of the day has something to do with information, and information is what we do.